All right, so I just want to point out this comment here, and you can go back and see my other video about Disneyland and stuff in the parks and water, because a guy was commenting about how they're charging for refills and stuff, and that got a few comments, and this lady here was responding that she had a problem getting water. So I want to educate in here because I think it's important people know these. So here's the short of it. Most parks are required to offer free water, and I looked this up. Smaller parks may be able to get around that, and while there's no federal regulation, each state has a requirement for parks to provide free water. The expectation in most places, and especially bigger parks, is it reasonable that you could leave the park to do something like use the bathroom or get water? And if that answer is no, then generally water has to be provided for free. Now, I have not been to Disneyland myself, but I do have information I've looked up, and a quick Google will find all this information. But as far as like Orlando, Universal Studios Orlando, they had pointed out that they are required to provide free water, and they do at various stations. Now, from what I can find, there's multiple ways to get free water at Disneyland in particular, and this comes both from Disney's site. If you dig through their terms of service and stuff, you can also email them. I'm sure they would send a response. But Disneyland has water bottle filling stations. They're not easy to find, from what I'm seeing, both in vlogs and blogs where people were talking about that. And then they also have just regular tap water where you have to ask for it. But if you go to a drink station or a place where they're just selling drinks, they're probably going to tell you just the bottled water. They should be directing you to tap water. So as I responded to this person here, I told them then you should seek a lawyer if they were trying to keep you away from water without charging you, because some states, most states I should say, as I've looked it up, they regulate to a point that the park has an expectation to provide free water. Same as like providing free bathrooms. They can't charge you for bathrooms because you can't make it back to a hotel or an outside location to use the bathroom in time. And since water is a basic human necessity, it opens them up to liability. So they're going to offer you free water, or should be providing free water, to prevent liability. If you have a heat stroke in their park, they're going to become liable for that. If it comes up, hey, did you have access to water? No, I didn't. Also, another side note here, and this has come up a number of times too, you are allowed to bring a packed lunch into Disneyland and to Orlando. Or I should say Universal Studios, both those. I'm using these as bigger parks because that's what we're talking about here. You are allowed to bring food into the parks, but it has to be in a smaller container. Universal's a little more rigid. Disneyland's regulations that I could see what they had, it was very small. It was like a sandwich and like a handful of chips and then like water. I don't think they'll allow you to bring soda in any of the parks, but you can bring outside food, as it's an expectation that you may not be able to get food anywhere else. And also, you paid for the ticket to the park. So read your terms when you go to visit parks. Also look around. And if anybody's denying you water, get a lawyer. Don't just sit on it. Get a lawyer. Make a video about it. Because the more attention that comes to a place like Disneyland, Disney World, whatever, not providing water, or Universal Studios, it's going to cause some problems, and they're going to want to avoid legal action. They will start pointing out where those water stations are. Where I was at Universal Studios Orlando, near the Men in Black ride, there was a fill-up station there. They had the big soda machines, but they also had the option to fill water bottles, and they also had fountains. And most parks should have water fountains that you can use. If you don't trust that water, that's kind of a personal thing. I know some people don't trust the water, and that's fine. So maybe bring a bottle of water with you. Look at the regulations for what they are not regulations, but their guidelines on what to bring. Always ask. And to keep this from getting too long, just a side note, you are allowed to bring small bags into the parks, but you have to ask which ones. I talked to Universal Studios Orlando's security via their online portion through a chat, and because I have a hip holster style drop leg bag that's great for holding stuff, and it's waterproof. Now, I haven't taken that because we haven't done a trip in a bit. And I asked if I could bring that in the park to hold goods while I was on rides and stuff, and they said, yeah, absolutely you can. They don't generally allow big backpacks, but if it's attached to your body, you can wear it like a fanny pack or a drop bag, a leg drop bag that is small, and they have measurements. They have specific measurements. You can wear those in the park to keep your goods safe while you're on rides. So the next time I go, I'm going to be wearing something like that. And they also have very discreet waistbands you can wear that go around that hold like a small wallet, or hold I don't have my wallet here with me. I'd show you the side. I got a small waterproof wallet, very tiny. It's a military style. It's the personal carry is what it is. But stuff like that is allowed. So start asking questions. If you guys have any questions, I'll be glad to contact these departments. I can do that on your behalf, and I can show you the emails or show you the chat logs. But yeah, water is kind of a right at the parks. They have to provide that. Also, one other location for you at Disneyland is the Starbucks. There's an article here specifically saying that the Starbucks in particular, in any of those locations or other restaurants, will provide water upon request. You're not going to get a big gallon cup, but they have to keep refilling it for you. So be annoying until they provide better options if they're not. And definitely make some noise about this to the parks. And specifically for this person here, get a lawyer. If they denied you water, get a lawyer and say, hey, I could not find where you can get water, and see what happens. But they are required to provide you water. Just want to put that out there.